Concerned Commander Radio Show, Orlando, CPAC 2022. And our next guest, John Gibbs, is running for the 3rd Congressional District, U.S. House of Representatives in Michigan. Welcome to Concerned Commander Radio Show.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
John, you got a great bio.
Yeah.
Great resume. We're going to read this a little bit to our people because you're endorsed by President Trump because you worked for President Trump.
That's correct.
Under
yes.
Ben Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Served as Acting Assistant Secretary for Community Planning and Development under Ben Carson at HUD. And for 4 years, you're an undergrad Stanford graduate, master's degree from Harvard. And you speak fluent Japanese. You've served in Christian missions in Japan.
That's correct, yeah.
And you were also appointed the 45th president to serve on the 1776 Commission, which we really enjoy that one. That is so good for our nation. We want to talk to you some more about that.
Right.
So, and you're a software developer at Silicon Valley. So welcome again, and have at it, John. Give us your reasons for wanting to represent Michigan's 3rd District.
Sure. Yeah, so I was in our administration serving, and we had our involuntary change of employment, if you will, in January 2021.
Yeah.
So that was a bit sad, but I said, okay, what am I going to do now? So I thought I might have a comfortable life or whatever in D.C., stay in the area, work for a think tank or something like many people were doing. Maybe work for a committee in the Senate or something like that. It's kind of a normal life. I've been attacked by CNN since 2018, which I don't mind too much, but it'd be kind of cool to just have a normal life out of the spotlight, I thought. So I'm just proceeding with that plan, and then some friends said, you know what, this Peter Meyer guy in West Michigan, you're from Michigan, they said, he voted to impeach Trump. He's one of 10 Republicans who voted to impeach Trump.
You want to run against Pete?
Oh, yes.
Aha! Oh, wow.
That's right.
Take out the rhino.
That's right, yes.
Okay, well, we might make this into a 2-hour interview.
That's it. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, so they said, you want to do it? I said, let me think about it. Let me pray about it. And I took some time to do that, and I said, yes. I've been in a fray for 4 years already. I've been fighting rhinos 4 years already.
Yes, you have.
I might as well continue to fight.
Hey, that's awesome.
So you might be your district's secret weapon.
I believe so. We've got some polling that looks really good. When the voters know that Peter Meyer voted to impeach Trump, not endorsed by Trump, he loses by more than 20 points.
Awesome.
So I think he's really on his way out.
Oh, wow, that's big.
Because we can't take out Pelosi by returning Pete Meyer.
That's right, yes.
That's no gain.
That's right.
At all.
And remember, he voted to impeach Trump as his very first vote as a U.S. Congressman.
That's right.
Brand new.
I know, he's a freshman.
Yeah, that's right.
Him and Kinzinger, and there's a few more.
Yeah.
But it's awesome you're there. How are the churches treating you in your campaign?
I have some good churches on our side.
Yes.
On both sides.
Supporting me. Now we have a new district, so we've got Grand Rapids, we've got Muskegon now. So there's new geography in this district.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of churches supporting me right now. As you know, a lot of churches are afraid to speak up. I think more afraid than they need to be. It's really a big problem.
I know, that's why I asked.
Yeah, so that becomes a problem. Oh, well, we don't want to be divisive, blah, blah, blah. So you get some of that, but we also have some that are supporting us too. And I think the more we get our name out there and the more I get to know people, we'll have more that will come on board.
That's true. That's good.
There's a lot of talent in the Wolverine state.
Mm-hmm.
Friends with John James?
I do know him a little bit, yes.
Okay.
I haven't communicated with him too much.
You guys go. What are your highest priorities as a U.S. member of Congress? What would they be?
First thing we got to deal with is inflation. This inflation problem right now is a nightmare. You're paying more at the gas pump. You go to the grocery store to buy a chicken or a pack of pork chops, it costs you way more than before. This is hitting middle class people and working class people the hardest. It's absolutely insane. It's caused by this crazy spending, this crazy money printing that they're doing. It's got to be stopped. Congress controls the power of the purse, so we can do something about this. We can look at legislation and things we can do to stop the crazy spending. So we've got to do that. So that's the first priority: is stop the high prices. It's just crushing on the middle class.
Wow. Is your primary? When is your primary?
August 2nd.
In August.
Yes.
Good. Give him some time to overtake the incumbent.
Yeah.
Yes. I think as long as you raise enough to get my name out there, we're going to be very good.
Yes.
And we're on track to do that right now.
How is CPAC treating you?
CPAC has been great. I've got to meet a lot of really good people here, such as yourselves. Really been good for networking. It's really been good just being encouraged by other candidates out there and other elected officials. So it's going well. It's been a great experience at CPAC.
Energy independence and focusing on American energy production.
Right.
I think you're going to be a lot better candidate than Mr. Meyer.
Yes. I mean, what Biden has been doing is a nightmare. Meyer has not stood up enough. When Biden came in, he got rid of the pipeline. Everything that you would do to increase our independence, Biden did the opposite of. It's just absolutely insane. And Meyer has not been speaking on this at all. Not speaking on it nearly enough. So this is an issue that I think is a gold mine. Not just a political issue, but for all Americans, no matter what background they come from, we need to be energy independent. Why would you want to depend on other countries for your energy? It's mind-blowingly dumb, but I guess to be expected from Biden.
Bringing another issue, housing.
Yes.
And these interest rates rising and rising.
Yeah, I mean, housing prices keep going up. And while that is good for people that already own houses, it's good for local governments. They get a higher assessment on their property tax. I understand that, but this is really, really, really bad for young families.
Yes.
This is really, really bad for anybody who wants to buy a house. Because now you're spending more of your income on your mortgage instead of starting a business or going back to school. There is a cost associated with this. And I think our policy for a long time has been keep prices pumped up, going up forever and ever and ever and ever.
Right.
But I think we've got to think a little bit more smart. We want people who own homes to have appreciation for equity, but we don't want to lock out the young people and young families. We want them to have some well too. And we don't really have a solution yet. This is a great area for us to deliver a solution, whether that's some kind of tax credit program for young families so that they don't have to get crushed so much by these mortgages, or some other solution. We also have the issue of conglomerates, including China, coming here and buying up so many houses, buying up so much land, when regular Americans who are taxpayers can't even afford it. That just seems outrageous to me. Even Singapore doesn't allow it. They have controls in this, so that you can't just come there and buy up all the property. So I think we've got to look at that as well.
Well, America First theme, which President Trump espoused, you're on board with that, but that's not been the case with the Kinsingers and the Pete Meyers.
That's right.
And it's going to be a big thing up there. Top priorities, though, are politically. What's your best message to the people in your district right now?
I really believe that this election is not going to be so much Democrat versus Republican, but crazy versus normal.
Yeah.
And my message is almost going to be, in the general election especially, vote for the normal guy.
Yeah.
We're not going to let the teachers tell your 5-year-old that they can turn into the other opposite. We're not going to let them tell your kids if you're white you're automatically guilty, if you're black you're automatically a victim. We're against that. We're not going to advocate for a company forcing you to take a medical procedure that you decided on your own judgment you don't want to take. Last I checked, this is a free country, and you decide if you want to take it or not. You don't have the companies and everyone forcing you to do it. I think this is basic common sense no matter what side you're on. So I really think it's going to go on the crazy versus normal. I'm going to say, look, I want a normal guy. I want gas prices down. I want the price of, you can tell like pork chops. I want the price of a pack of pork chops to go down, so you don't have to break the bank when you go do it. So basic common sense.
Yeah. What about when you were in Japan? What did you bring back from Japan that is influencing you now and what you're doing?
That's really good. I think when you live overseas, it changes you in a huge way.
Yeah.
You realize, first of all, how unique our culture is. American culture really is unique, and I've been back in Japan for 7 years, but even still, I look at everybody here, I'm like, this is my family. This is really my people. We are a unique group. There's no one else like us. It really builds that kind of feeling in you, which I think I might not have had if I had not been in Japan.
Wow.
You also realize as a missionary, especially like me when you speak the language, how to communicate things in different ways to different people.
Yes.
I think in our culture, we tend to be based on expression as the main purpose of communication. And expression is good, but we sometimes are not as much on the listening side. I know myself, we work on that as well. As some of us. But in Japan, they do listen a little bit more. So this idea of when I talk about something, talking about the way that the other person understands, that's really kind of hammered into me. And I still, of course, have a long way to go, but the importance of that, I think, is huge. And that's applicable to politics, work, family, everything. Just make sure you talk about it. We call it contextualization in the world of missions. But
real quick, national security. I have a hunch you don't buy into the Biden rhino idea that the greatest threat to America is climate change right now.
I think that's absurd.
As Russia tries to overtake Ukraine.
Yeah, that's right.
And this Green New Deal, it has to be repealed.
Yeah, that's right.
It does.
Yeah, speaking of Ukraine, let's have a moment of silence for Joy Behar, who cannot travel to Italy because of what's happening.
Yeah.
We really have to feel your compassion for her suffering. But just an example of how these elites are so disconnected from what regular people are.
Right.
But they're trying to make climate change the number one priority of the military. It's beyond ridiculous. The military is supposed to fight and win wars to protect us. Period. There's nothing else that comes into the picture.
What about
Were you-
young people? How have they been responding to you?
Very good.
Of all cultures, I believe.
I do get a good response from the young people. You know, speaking of all cultures,
Yeah.
I think with especially young black men, we see a lot of good results.
Yes.
They're more likely to take a look at both sides and say, okay, maybe I can look at both.
Yeah.
We're seeing the Hispanic vote look like it's 50-50, which is amazingly good.
Nice.
You got to get out there and say, look, no one wants high gas prices. It doesn't care what you are, I don't care what party you are.
Yeah.
You know, this is really easy. And I think talking about things like housing prices, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's great for young people.
Yes.
Young families do want to buy a house, but it's too expensive. So what do we do?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think there's a lot of solutions out there for
And having worked for HUD, you know that there's potentially some of the Dodd-Frank stuff could go away.
Yeah.
That's
Make
true.
things more affordable.
That's right, exactly right. Yes,
Bring down PMI and some of that kind of thing.
that's right, exactly right. Those are
You'd
big
be a
things we're going
perfect candidate
Yeah.
to help engineer, renewal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, Rum gets a hard break, but it's been a blessing to have you here on the Tree Command Radio Show.
Yes.
thanks so much.
You can give us your last closing thoughts and how
Yeah.
people can support you.
Well, again, this is crazy versus normal. My primary opponent, Peter Meyer, has demonstrated, he wants to go to the cocktail parties and be liked by the media as opposed to doing what's right for his people.
Right.
And so I think he, probably a good person. We want to compel him to go and do a different work, perhaps go into hedge fund management or private equity in New York. So let's send him over there to go ahead and do that. And let's vote for me at votejohngibbs.com.
Okay.
We're doing real well, but we need to raise enough to get my name out there, so votejohngibbs.com. It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a great year. Biden's doing even worse than expected, which is a hard bar to clear.
Right.
You should get the war for that, or anti-war, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to be there right away. So, yeah, votejohngibbs.com. Really appreciate it.
All
God
right.
bless. Thank you for coming on the Tree Command Radio Show
Thank
here
you
at
so much.
CPAC.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Really appreciate
All
it.
right.